Dhyan is all about developing a clarity within yourself. It starts by looking at the world and your own life, which is nothing but your interactions with the world, analyzing and seeing where it's taking you, learning from the experiences and realizing the repetitiveness of our life that we are doing in life. It shows our bhag, dord for nothing. How the mind keeps getting impressed by the outside world, and how it keeps running after the objects of pleasure, runs away from objects of sufferings. As you walk away from the mind and reach to the samadhi state, for the first time, you would have walked away from your repetitiveness. You will be in a zone which is entirely different than what you have experienced so far. You get established in shunyata, in steadiness, in peace, and more than anything, clarity. This clarity is absolute. It's something you never had before. The wisdom of knowing to do the right thing is the highest state that a mind can achieve. Love for other animals, humans, friends, is the highest state a mind can achieve. But samadhi is entirely different than all these things. Samadhi is a state where wisdom is already taken for granted. Love for your loved ones, nearby, spouse, children, friends, is already taken for granted. But as soon as you step into samadhi state, you become universal. You find that source where everything is coming from, the consciousness. Once you make a contact with the consciousness, as you keep getting deeper and deeper, that becomes you. You get a new identity. All your old identities become like a dream. You get established in your new home, which is infinite, is peaceful, blissful, and tremendously clear, like a clear day in a fall, crisp, clear. But of course, a day outside is day outside, but this is your inner understanding. You walk around with that clarity. In this clarity, new facts start coming up. New realizations start coming up. you have become so established in a samadhi state that you realize that this is your new reality. That's where all this urja is coming out from. It's like indefinite, unknown, unknowable source of urja, the energy, keeps coming out for no reason and for not doing anything. This energy flows in a tremendous force. You are just letting it flow, and it bathes your mind, the body, and the world. Your flow remains from your deep within to the outside world, and the whole universe can bathe in it, and you would not have any objection. Any impulses coming from the samsara will be going in the opposite direction. If somebody says something to you, you feel bad, that becomes extinct in your personality. Running after objects of pleasures. Again, you're chasing an object based on your past experiences with that object, and you had liked it. That's why you're running after it. Again, that's at the mind level. With the clarity of samadhi, the mind starts losing its appeal. It starts dropping its prior mistakes, prior connections, and your run for desired objects also start disappearing little by little. And also, not running after the objects with desires also starts dwindling down little by little, because running after future dreams is nothing but replication of the things that you liked in the past. So past is where actual experience took place. Future is something where the experience has not taken place. But both are running towards the samsara to get something from samsara, which is the reverse direction of the flow of consciousness. It is unnatural, unphysiologic, and devastating. On the spiritual path, people who are not on spiritual path, of course, will be running back and forth and suffer, and will never realize this extra dimension of life that exists. The world that we know outside is also bathing in this same consciousness and receiving the same energy from the Almighty Consciousness. There is a flow of energy. The matter is locked in time and space. Rotation of one object against the other, like a sun against the earth, or vice versa, creates the time, illusion of time. Based on that, we keep on counting our days and years and whatnot. is in your mind. Space is the distance between the two objects. As you transcend the mind, both the concepts remain stored at the mind level. And we reach into a zone without time and without space. It is everywhere. We cannot even call it multi-dimensional, because dimensions is the language of mind. You just exist, and existence is everywhere. So the world becomes like a dream of consciousness, because everything is coming from the consciousness. And this world, when we perceive through our senses into the mind, the world actually never comes into our mind, but shadow of the world comes in our mind. You smell a rose, put it away. Even the molecules that brought the fragrance to your nostrils, with your next breath, they leave. But the beauty of the rose, the fragrance of the rose, everything gets stored in your mind as a memory. You play with that memory, but the actual rose never went in. So, the world remains as a shadow in our mind. We are dealing with shadow when we don't know the reality. Once we know and experience the reality of samadhi, it starts seeming silly to play with the shadows. It's like showing the moon in a bucket of water as a reflection, and people getting attached to this beauty of the reflection of the moon instead of looking at the actual moon. Same way. So the samsara remains a shadow within our mind, and we keep on playing with this shadow of the world.